A permanent ban wave. Hello everybody, welcome to an unexpected third video, and the reason being I've just made the MCM for tomorrow and found that there's one other story that we really need to squeeze in somewhere to kind of like cover some stuff, and this was an unexpected ban wave. As a lot of you know, Kabam have been, this is from the start of the month, but there was something that Kabam actioned in the last 24 hours, which was unexpected and targeted some quite extensive accounts, which we'll look at, and one particular person saying goodbye to the community, now being permanently banned. So one thing that Kabam have been doing is kind of increasing and improving the sophistication of the algorithm for how they tackle things like arena cheaters. We've seen this, of course, we've seen it a little bit when it comes to battlegrounds, but as well, like some stuff, it's always been very kind of like odd whether or not these particular players had been, as Kabam dubbed them, arena cheats. That's something to kind of like mention. As you know, arena for like excessive grinders, especially free to play, I found it very difficult to kind of compete with some of the other accounts, and it's a bit of a nightmare for Kabam to try and find the right tech to deal with the situations. And at the start of last month, they did this, took action against arena cheaters, hundreds of arena cheaters, and maybe people that regularly appeared in certain things. And they banned over 100 arena cheaters in the start of last month, which is very important because it's all about, again, putting in a fairer ecosystem and, of course, tackling these prolific accounts. But the interesting thing about this, in the last 24 hours, Kabam have actioned a ban, and a particular player came to the forums to kind of like, you know, say their piece on this. So this is Makamusito, if I'm probably saying that wrong, says that let's talk about the ban wave version 3. Several accounts appear to have been banned roughly 6 to 7 hours ago. The majority of these accounts are incredibly OG players from the beginning of the game, and some of them were also huge spenders. Regardless of previous ban history, whether they have ever been banned or not in their lifetime, Kabam has issued them a permanent ban for violating the terms of service, which I find completely unreasonable. As any OG player knows, Kabam has made numerous blunders in the game, particularly with bugs and glitches. There was even a period in 2019 to 2020 when many gamers abandoned the game owing to Kabam's adjustments. Prior to that, when Kabam decided to nerf champions like Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and Dilemma, and OG would know. Yes, I think I'm still mentioned within a news article about that, same with Seaton and Captain Bay, I think, if I remember rightly. Free-to-play literally does not exist in the game anymore, nor can free-to-play players advance very far. I mean, it's funny because it's actually a little bit true, especially if you kind of look at how I kind of like shifted my account from spending to non-spending, and how like between the launch of Paragon, which I did as a non-spender, and acquisition of 7 stars, there's people that have made extensive gains past me. People that have done some people haven't even done Eternity of Pain and already ahead of me. That just goes to show you the extent of that. But it is what it is with this game, and you know how Kabam operate. There's more to this. Despite this, a large number of OG players remain loyal to Kabam and insisted on continuing to play the game, even with the recent updates which emphasize spending money in the game to advance. The players deciding to stick with it. Kabam must understand that a majority of these gamers play the game for amusement and to escape their hectic lives, which is why they commit to it. However, what is extremely ridiculous is that you were handed a permanent ban even if you were never banned previously in the following cases. Players who gave accounts to Merc, considering this is how paying money to progress, what difference does it make if you pay Kabam or to your friend to help finish some content for you? I mean, this will go on. I mean, look, there's going to be like some other stuff here. Account sharing. We're going into very kind of like sketchy territory. This mainly is for Alliance Wars piloting, and I simply agree that this is penalised because it's a war between 30-30, and unlike timing issues for content mentioned above. Of course, there's a lot of stuff here. Usage of exploits, emulators to gain advantage. Personally, I agree with Kabam's decision. Obviously, this is a lot of... This feels to me, this is justification. I don't really want to do this particular post any disservice, but at the same time, it is basically... I don't know, trying to not rub salt in the wounds, but kind of like go out fighting against this, to try and take down Kabam. I get it. Like, I would be pissed as well, but at the same time, there must be something that Kabam have picked up on. And that's the thing, what have Kabam picked up on? I think they're basically saying in this some stuff here. Like, considering now about paying to progress, what difference does it make if you pay Kabam or to your friend to help finish the content for you? That shouldn't violation in the first place. Cannot be multiple jobs, hence we hire someone to pay some. That's the thing, isn't it? That's basically this in this sentence. This is kind of like this particular player is justifying that element of, look, I cheated, but I employed somebody. I gave an opportunity. Yes, that person's going to be without a job. Okay, but this is the thing. Like, this is the same incident. If Kabam, you can't really find a good justification, because it's like saying, oh, I don't want to play Battlegrounds this season. I'll just get someone else to kind of like do it for me, and they'll just get to, I don't know, Gladiator Circuit on my account. It's like, well, it's not really it. I felt accomplished that I kind of, did what I did, and that's the thing. I'm still a non-spending player. I'm not the most skilled player in the game, but at the same time, I was happy what I accomplished with getting to Uru. That was good. That was fine. I accomplished something. Do I think that I could get any further than that? Maybe. Do I have the time? No. Do I care to kind of push any further? Not really. But I accomplished something on my non-spending account. But then, yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. Put in the comment section, do you find like this kind of justification of this particular element weird? Not weird? It's weird. Anyway, as we know, result of all violation leads to one thing, and that's called ban, aka you've been kabammed. No, it's called kabanned. It's not kabammed. Kabammed is when you kind of like, you don't pull something from a crystal that you really want to get. Or when, you don't get a reward that you were expected to get. Instead, Kabam should implement a system which players initially banned for 24 hours as a warning, then banned for 7 days, and finally permanent banned if they violate again for 6 months. I mean, again, like with some of the stuff, because I don't know the ins and outs of, they're claiming that they weren't banned previously. Do we know that? That's the thing. We don't really learn this from this. The type of banning system would be very merciful given the opportunities given to players that would lessen dissatisfaction on the part of the player, as Kabam must recognise that choices over permanent bans can cause major real life issues due to anger frustration. One could even isolate himself from everyone simply because he is outraged that his or her account has been permanently banned, especially for those who put significant amount of time and money whenever paid to Kabam Merc into the game. Players who have been really serious in the game may end up making unsafe decisions in real life as a result of any poor decision as mentioned above. Kabam, as a member of the Marvel community, should prioritize the health and well-being of their players over making permanent decisions that harm their player's life. Are we for real on this one? Do bear in mind, I want to stress this, right, okay? If you were not playing against the term, if you were cheating against the terms of service, you were acting on borrowed time. Surely these people knew this. You don't go and do stuff against the rules and go, that's all right, they won't catch up with me. That's fine, they won't catch up with me. Because here's the thing, you can get away with it. And obviously this particular, these particular players got away with stuff or whatever it was. But did they honestly think that it would kind of like last forever? They may have been able to get away with it, for months, maybe even years. But like, it's, I kind of like think that you always, if you are going against the rules of anything, you are on borrowed time. If you're a criminal, you're watching this video, if you're a criminal and you're thinking that you're getting away with something, you may be getting away with it now, but at some point it will catch up with you. And it does at the most unopportune times. Sad to say, but not sad to say, because it's like, you should be breaking rules in the first place. When players are permanently banned, especially when they haven't committed a violation in the past or for an extended length of time, this simply is not the proper option to anyone who replies, No, they violated the first time and deserve permanent suspension. Let's look at the real life example. If you were pulled over by a cop for any traffic infraction or first time deal, again, we're talking about trying to justify this. As I said, I think people need to understand, if you are working on borrowed time, it's borrowed time. Break the rules, you're on borrowed time. That's basically it. Anyone interested in learning more about me? I used to be War Champion, War Elite, known as Noob King back in the day, and I spent a lot of money on the game. Nonetheless, I left the Alliance and moved to another Alliance for relaxed play. I was banned in 2020 March ban wave. Personally, a majority of us utilize VPN. Well, there you go. I was using VPN for privacy purposes and randomly playing Alliance Wars maneuvers when I got permanently banned for account sharing as Alliance Wars piloting. I had no previous bans. I attempted to contact Kabam after the ban, even 1 year and later in 2021, to request an unban, but the response is the same template stating that the bans are final. I must have made very awful judgments in real life out of frustration, and I even severely destroyed my university grades, which still affect me today. As for a career, it took me months to recover from melancholy and difficulty, and I now see a couple of my friends in the same boat. I'd say therapy, see a psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever it is. That's what I advise. Again, like, if you are thinking about doing anything that's going to put your account in jeopardy, don't. I guess these people would not watch any of like content I would put out where I've basically said, don't do any of this stuff. Like, try and make sure that you have a clean account. Play as cleanly as possible. Make sure that if you're doing with VPN, I mean, look, I don't use VPN with MCOC. I'm sure a lot of people do. Some people don't. It's just the case of, like, if you get banned once, you are a red flag to Kabam. I really don't know how to think and feel about this, except for, like, I don't know whether or not it's like a case of going, look, you need to just don't go down this route. Honestly, I just don't know what to say about this, because I understand that somebody is just trying to, well, they're looking out for their friends. That's the first thing. They're looking out for their friends, and I think I'm gonna have to end the video there and put it down to the comments section, because I just find this bizarre. I'm kind of lost for words, like how bizarre this is. I mean, it's it's a big revelation about not this particular player, because this player looks like they've left the game a long time ago, but some of the other noticeable accounts, which I'm not going to go and search up. You can go search them up if you want, and kind of, like, I don't know, out them, say who it is and stuff. But yeah, it's such a very, very kind of weird kind of, like. I mean, I'll put a link to the description if you do want to check this out with this. But yeah, it's just such a very weird scenario. It's gonna like rack in my brain, I think, for the next few days. Where I'm just gonna think about this and go, like, what is going on with this? It's just a very, very weird post. I'll put it, as I said, link in the description. Go and check it out. React the way you want to do. So bizarre. But yeah, check out some other content located on screen right now, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.